follow. Is that a fair assumption? I don't recall what followed. The women's title match between the Refrigerator and Liv Morgan. Oh, you didn't like this? Oh, come on. Look, I know they figure we got to gimmick this thing up. Little smoke and mirrors. It's going to be a clash of styles. It's going to be a clash of sizes. It's going to be a 12-year-old scuba diver fighting a pissed-off parade float. I'm with them that they had to try to, disguise a little bit of this. But this was an opus to how many fucking things can we put into one match to disguise the fact that the match straight up would be the shits. And it was so much. You like this? Oh, no, I thought... Oh, no. You know, that's not nice. I'm not a big Nia Jax fan, and, you know, they were fucking saying, and then you said, I'm not a big fan of the Nia Jax matches, no. And Liv Morgan, the nice thing was she seemed very touched for a heel. She seemed very overjoyed as a childhood wrestling fan that she was the first Saudi Arabian Crown Jewel Championship winner. I would have enjoyed this if I'd have been the one to touch her. You haven't even discussed yet the idea that after weeks of building it up, Cody Gunther, and then this match, no one wins the actual belt. No, it's just come up. Okay, I guess it'll come up. Let's go back to you. David, back to you. Back to you, Jim. Well, thank you, Dave. The fucking belts now, we are come to be told, the belts will stay in Saudi Arabia and be on display there. It's a nice thing you can wear around all year long. And then next year, they're going to have another match for another belt that they don't get to fucking keep and take home. I wonder, do you think Saudi Arabia made those things and they're fucking real? And they're really worth like a couple $100,000 or whatever it might be? And they pay for real security to carry them to all these tapings? We've been seeing like security guards carry them? Yes, I wondered if that's not a gimmick. When they showed the close-up on this event, I was like, are those real jewels? They really fooled me, so I don't know. Well, I mean, because, again, I guess it's racist to say Indian givers, and they're Arabs anyway. Don't have anything to do with India. Yeah, that whole sentence was wrong. Well, and that's why I didn't say it. But I'll tell you one thing, the people that win the belts ain't going to get to take the belts home. And that would piss off a lot of fucking people back in the old days. So the person who wins next year, do they get a new belt? Do they get the whole for one night? Or no, I think they've just made these belts, and now they're on display in Saudi Arabia if you want to swing by and look at them. But the champions get a ring every year. So every year you get to celebrate with the original belt, you hold it up in the air, you get photos, and then you give it back. Yeah, well, you get to hold it up in the air if Triple H is helping you because it's a fucking big. Liv couldn't pick it up by herself. Are they going to do this every year where the weeks leading up to Crown Jewel, there's just, these security guards carrying a large case of a championship which they held longer than the champion? You are correct, sir. Yes, sir. Well, congratulations. It's good business for the guys in the suits that have the white gloves to carry the things around. But so the whole thing, and by the way, match number 4, they're picking up time. It started only an hour and 45 minutes in the show. But they had somewhat of what could be described as an attempt at a match. And then Liv got a sunset flip powerbomb type of thing off the turnbuckle and both of them were down. And here came Tiffy with her briefcase, and she was going to cash in. But as she's trying to give it to the referee, she turns around and realizes, the refrigerator is up and confronts her. And Nia Jax backed Tiffy up all the way around the ring, and as they got to the complete other side, Nia was looking over her shoulder like, am I standing in the right place I'm supposed to be in? So she was obviously positioning herself. And then Liv runs and jumps out and kicks her, and then goes for a dive, but the fridge nails her and tells Tiffy to get the fuck out of there. And Tiffy starts leaving. And the fridge gives Liv a stiff Samoan drop. And I mean a stiff one, and Liv rolled her up in a crucifix out of the stiff Samoan drop and got a 2 count. If it was real, Liv would have still been collecting her spleen. But now, they were both selling, and Jax was selling the roll-up bigger than Liv was selling the Samoan drop, and Tiffy comes back down with the briefcase. And the refrigerator slams Liv, but Tiffy tries to cash in now. But there comes Rochelle, a.k.a. Rachel Rodriguez, or Raquel Rodriguez. You keep saying Rachel. Or Raquel Welch. Well, she grabbed the case, and she and Tiffy had a tug-of-war with it. And then, apparently, from what I can deduce and determine as a former industry professional with decades of experience, it seems to me that if I would have been calling the finish as I saw it happening, that Jax was supposed to reach over the top rope to grab a hold of Rodriguez to try to get her off of Tiffy, and then Rodriguez was going to snap Jax's head over the rope, right? And Jax would stagger back, and then Liv would come off the turnbuckle with her double knee move thingy. That's what I deduced that it was supposed to be, but instead, the fridge leaned under the top rope and reached over the second rope to grab Raquel. So when Raquel tried to snap her head over the rope, it wasn't over the rope. And so Jax just stood up and staggered back anyway. Did you see that spot? Oh, of course I saw that spot. Do you think I'm on the right track as to what I'm deducing that it should have been? What are you deducing? That it should have been over the top rope. I think so. She leaned under the top rope. And 2 count. And I'm like, Jesus, how much more of this? So then Rachel backed Tiffany up. But Liv jumped out on the floor, but Jax came and belly bumped Liv and Rachel into Tiffy. And then got back in the ring, and the fridge did a leg drop and went for the bonsai. But Dominic appeared and slipped the briefcase in and drew the referee. And Rachel kicked the fridge off the ropes, and Liv hit her finish, the Oblivion, where she jumps into the ropes and then drags the girl down face first. But Nia Jax did a forward roll, just like a forward roll, like a kid rolled on the mattress, boom, and she got covered 1, 2, 3. And I wrote, oh good God, was this kind of a mess, or is it just me being bigger? 1992 Dallas Page. Oh good God. I mean, it's Nia Jax, and it was sloppiness all around, and around and about. And Liv won, and she was very happy to win. The other heel seemed very happy for her. And that was that. And a Triple H came in. Yes, and that's where he had to help her hold the
her hand up with the belt because it was so big she couldn't fucking get it up the air by herself.
Having this role, this so public, I guess such a public role where not only is he the executive producer on the screen, but he now does like the Dana White thing where he's presenting people with belts. Not only did Vince never do that stuff, no WWE president ever did that stuff.
I like it because it's more real, it's more credible. It is the Dana White thing that the UFC has established, and it's combat sports oriented, and there's nothing the matter. In the old days, when nobody was supposed to know it was a work, then if the active wrestler or even retired wrestler who was kind of the booker in a territory coming out doing that, especially if he'd been a heel or whatever, it may have given way too much. But since Triple H has been retired for a while, he's the son-in-law, they know his public role, I think it kind of makes it more legitimate in that respect, that it's more sports-like, and he's an ex-jock. He's moved into the commissionership or whatever the fuck. So I think this works, and everybody knows who he is.